Hello, everyone. I am Kavitha Kailasam. I am a senior program associate with the Butler Institute for Families at the University of Denver. I have worked in a variety of spaces related to community and youth engagement, as well as capacity building around the use of positive youth development. And this is the topic that I will be sharing with you through today's microlearning. We will talk about what positive youth development is, what the definition is, how you can apply it to your work and various tools for application. And I'll also share with you some of the resources that you can use to learn more and dive deeper into PYD and its approach in Colorado. So positive youth development in Colorado is an evidence-based and community-informed approach that guides how we organize services, opportunities, and supports so that all youth can be engaged and reach their full potential. It involves an intentionality around skill building, opportunities for practice, and authentic relationship building. The 5 principles that you see represented on the image in this slide are the principles of practice and how we apply them to positive youth development. This includes being strengths-based. That means we take a holistic approach, focusing on the inherent strengths of an individual, family, or community. These strengths can then be built upon or even leveraged as an opportunity to help us address gaps. Positive youth development is inclusive. We address the needs of all youth by ensuring that our approach is culturally responsive. It engages youth and adults as partners. We ensure the intentional, meaningful, and sustained involvement of youth as equitable partners in the programs, practices, and policies that seek to impact them. It means that adults align ourselves around youth to support their needs and interests. Collaborative means that we create meaningful partnerships within and across sectors to effectively align our work, making sure we are supporting young people holistically. And lastly, the sustainability principle means that we address long-term planning through funding, training, capacity building, professional development, and evaluation in order to ensure ongoing support and engagement of youth. Positive youth development can be applied across the social ecology, which means it can be applied one-on-one between individuals at the relationship level, organizational, and environmental levels. This is equivalent to the micro and macro levels of social work and thinking about how youth can be engaged in all of these spaces that inform their world. Ultimately, applying a PYD approach to the programs, practices, and policies within our work is about creating environments that are most supportive of young people's development, resulting in youth who are safe, healthy, educated, connected, and contributing. On this slide, I've provided some examples of what this might look like in real life. So if we take a strengths-based approach to curriculum, this might mean that a healthy relationship training emphasizes the things to do and how to interact in healthy ways, not just what to avoid or what not to do. The inclusive aspect of PYD might look like meetings that include youth and adults being thoughtfully planned with youth input and including time to build relationships, making sure all participants are well supported to participate meaningfully. When we work with youth and adults as partners, youth might help define the questions that are used in a youth survey, and they might also help distribute that survey through their networks. In a collaborative way, an after-school program organization might have an established relationship with a local community college and help connect youth to additional program opportunities there. A sustainable example might look like youth, the youth role on a leadership board being written into the bylaws, youth staffing being included in an organization's annual budget, and staff members within the organization being cross-trained on PYD. These are all efforts that ensure that PYD is embedded within a space and isn't here today, gone tomorrow based on a single particular youth champion. One of the resources in Colorado is a PYD toolbox. We will provide a link to that within our resources section. But this PYD toolbox is a place where you can see many more examples of PYD in action. These examples were all generated by youth and youth serving organization members themselves, and they are situated, as you might see on this slide, on a spectrum from planting, growing to blossoming. So what it might look like if you're in early stages of implementing PYD and applying it to your work, and all the way up to a very full-fledged PYD approach. So on this slide right now, you see some examples of youth input, what it might look like if you were implementing youth input. So in the planting space of that, it looks like organizations soliciting youth feedback regularly in diverse formats. In the middle growing section, this looks like organizations closing the feedback loop to report back to youth on their input and what is being done with it. And then all the way up to blossoming, where an organization is upfront, transparent about the purpose and parameters for using youth input. So this is a great resource to generate some ideas and think about different ways that you might not have already to engage youth in the work that you're doing. Another tool or concept to support your integration of a PYD approach is the idea of the essence of adolescence. This term is coined by the neuroscientist Dan Siegel and is described in his book, Brainstorm. A link to his blog and this concept is provided in the notes section as well. This acronym ESSENCE stands for emotional spark, social engagement, novelty seeking, and creative exploration. Each of these elements provide a positive framing for the developmental stage that young people are experiencing, and how as adults in a society, we can nurture these elements for young people's benefit. In a recent round of youth focus groups that the state commissioned to hear from young people about their needs, one participant shared this quote: "We are not kids, but we are also not adults. Help us have more freedom and help us learn how to be adults without the world being on our shoulders." It's a good reminder of the role we can play in a young person's life to support their positive development. And as mentioned earlier, we are leaving you with several resources to explore and continue your learning about PYD. In Colorado, PYD 101 trainings are offered free of charge through the state of Colorado, through the Department of Human Services. As I showed you earlier, there's the online PYD toolbox. There are various funding sources for PYD and youth engagement, and many state funders are actually requiring evidence of PYD and demonstration of PYD as a part of their grant funding requirements. And lastly, there are various youth voice resource groups, both state and local, to tap into for an opportunity for youth voice to inform your work. We are providing a couple of links to those groups below, but there are also many local groups that you can find to inform the work that you're doing within your community. I hope you find these resources helpful, and please feel free to reach out to me if there's more information I can provide.